Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod called the Gravel B-Series. And with this mod, we basically have three categories. We have the four-wheelers, the six-wheelers, and the eight-wheelers. We're going to start with the four-wheelers, going with the B65 Crawler. And even though this only has four wheels, this is probably the most off-road capable B-Series there is. So it has a ton of ground clearance and big, beefy off-road tires. And that's all it takes to make this thing a really good off-roader. So let's go ahead and lock the front and rear differential and turn on the transfer case, and we are ready for off-roading. And that is not special to this truck. It seems like every B-Series does have the option to lock the differentials and turn on the transfer case because they are all four-wheel drive or more. So the real test for the Crawler is right up here, where this car failed, and that's why they're parked there. So can the B-Series do this even though that one can't? Oh yeah, it can easily do it. The ironic thing about off-roading this thing is the thing you gotta be the most careful about is not going too fast. With most off-roaders, you gotta go fast, make sure you don't get stuck, don't lose momentum, that kind of stuff. This one's just like, just don't go too fast because it has those capabilities. The problem is when you go fast over bumps like this, you will eventually flip over. It's just a matter of time. But you see, we are absolutely cruising through here, and I'm doing nothing in terms of actual off-road skills. I'm just making sure I maintain a reasonable speed, and we're going straight. So now that I proved how capable it is, let's do the exact opposite, and we are just gonna floor it, and we're gonna see how terribly this can go. And there, that's what happens. Again, it's so good at off-roading. If you floor it, you will just flip upside down because it goes so fast through the off-road areas. Before we move on to the next version of the truck, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. So the interior is basic, but it matches perfectly with the way the truck looks. This is exactly the kind of interior I would expect to see on a truck like this. So we have all the functionality you like to see. We have a working steering wheel, working gauges, working pedals that are kind of hard to see because it's really dark down by where my feet would be. We have working lights on the gauges when we turn on the headlights. We have a working lever on the stock for when we put the blinker on to go left or right. So it's all real nice in here. We even have a working GPS, which seems a little too modern for this truck, but hey, I'm not complaining. It's nice to have a GPS. Anyways, back to the outside, and let's go to the next one we're going to be taking a look at. So this is the final four-wheel drive version. The rest of them are either six or eight-wheel drive. This is the B65 Car hauler. And what better thing to haul than another one of these trucks? And the only one that'll really fit on this truck is the smallest one, which is the one we were just driving, the B65 Crawler. So we'll go ahead and spawn it up. It'll be stuck in the rocks a little bit, but that doesn't matter because we can just teleport it onto the back of the one we're driving. All right, that looks pretty good. Is it clipping with the front? Nope. It fits just perfectly on the car hauler. The parking brake is on, so it's as steady as it can be. So let's go and see how well this does. And you can already see right off the bat, it is bouncing around a bit, so I'm going to have to drive careful. And also, we have these rocks on the road, and it probably can survive most of the rocks, but there are definitely some where it can pop the tires, so I have to be careful about the rocks and make sure I don't accidentally hit any of them. So I need to pay attention to where I'm going and what the truck on the back is doing, because it is starting to bounce around a little bit. It's starting to fall off. It's a little bit too fast. We're going to tone it down. Through here, about 25 miles per hour is probably good, and if we're on a highway, this thing could go flying, but here it's just so bumpy, we need to be careful. Like right here especially, you see how it gets a little steep to the side? That probably could have easily made the one on the back fall off. So that's why we're taking it nice and slow. And it's doing a good job of staying on the back, although it is getting more and more crooked. And the more crooked it gets, the less stable it becomes, and the more likely it is that I eventually tip over and completely crash it. Well, I think that proves that you can pretty easily carry this truck through this terrain. So now we're going to try to dump the truck off the car hauler just to see how unstable it actually is. Yep, that was fast. It fell off almost immediately after I started trying. So that gives you an idea of just how close it was to probably falling off most of the time while I was driving. And since we still have a working car hauler, let's see how good it does just flooring it through the bumpy rocks. And you can see these rocks are giving it the business. It's being shook. But none of the tires have popped so far, which is kind of surprising. I thought for sure we'd pop a tire. Oh, there we go. I knew the rocks would get you eventually. It didn't stop it. It just slowed it down some, though, because all it did was take out one of my 4 rear tires. We still got 3 of them left that are perfectly fine. And it looks funny. You can really see that flat one flopping about after it got yanked by the rock. But it works great through here. And as long as we have 3 wheels, we don't have 3 wheels anymore. Okay. Well, I think this thing is done going through here with having 2 pop tires on one side. It's not going to drive well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next version we're going to drive. So we're now going to move up to the 6-wheel drive versions, going with the B75 mining version. And with this one, it's made for mining, and it has a big old bed to put rocks into it, right? Makes sense to me. So I'm going to load this thing up with a ton of rocks, and I'll be back once it's loaded up. And by the way, to load it up, what you do is you either get the rock stack or 3 large rocks, and you just keep teleporting them on top of the thing until it looks full. So you spawn them up, and then teleport it into the back, and continue until you have enough rocks. Okay, you know how I said you add enough rocks until you had enough? Well, I did that, and then I added more, and more, and more, until it was way more than enough, and it's so much that it looks like it might be overloaded at any second. You can see the back end is starting to open up a little bit from the weight of the rocks, and then also, if you look at the wheels, they're clipping through the bed. So yeah, this thing is at its limit in just about every way I can imagine, but let's see how well it can do. It has a big, beefy engine, and it can pull the weight. And the only problem is through here we have all these rocks we need to avoid. Before we didn't have to worry so much, but we're sitting low to the ground. We don't have that much ground clearance anymore. Oh no, don't you dare tip on me. Woo, that was scary. Okay, we got to go through the rocks. If we try to go around them, we'll get too uneven and we'll try to tip over. So I'm just going to try to go through the rocks nice and slow. And we have already popped 1 tire, but we got a ton of tires left. There goes another one, and another one. Tires are popping left and right on these rocks. Okay, these rocks are absolutely ruining everything. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to just go ahead and teleport my truck somewhere else where the road is a bit smoother, and then I'll load it back up and we'll see how well it does from here. Okay, we should have close to the same number of rocks as before. And again, we're doing this on a dirt road because it makes sense. If this is a rock hauler, it might go to a quarry, and at a quarry, you drive on dirt roads. Most of the time, they don't have rocks just sitting in the middle ready to pop your tires. They'd be more like this. And for this, it's working great. And right now, I don't even have any of the fancy parts on this thing. None of the differentials are locked. We don't have the front transfer case on. It's just doing rear-wheel drive, and it's doing great. It is just plowing through here at a steady 25 to 30 miles per hour, and it definitely feels like it could carry more rocks. The problem is you're getting really close to the top of this thing, and you can't fit much more until they just start to fall out whenever you drive. Now we're going to try to do some aggressive maneuvers. And we're going to see how well that works. So we have a tight corner here. Churn to the left tight. Oh, that will tip it. And there go all the rocks all over the place. If you guys wonder, how do we end up with rocks all over the road before? Probably something like that, where we just dump them all out accidentally. And I have one more fun thing I want to try, but that requires me reloading the rocks, so I'll be back once we're ready. Alright, and just for the heck of it, I added even more rocks, and you can tell this thing is really filled all the way up to the top now. And we gotta see, can it still drive like this? Yes, it can. And again, it just has so much torque, it doesn't seem like it really affects it. But what is gonna affect it is any sort of cornering maneuver. You can tell this thing is super top heavy, and it wants to tip over really, really badly. I can barely go around a corner here without thinking it's gonna tip over. Also, yes, my frame rate, not so great right now with all these rocks in here. That's how many we got. But here's what I want to test. Do the hydraulics still work when you have this many rocks in it? Because you can tip this thing. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to tip it up. And it does, in fact, sort of work. Oh, my goodness. It's going to break the hydraulic. Look at it go. It's trying to tip them out, but there's so much weight. That's as high as it goes, and it's not opening up to let the rocks out. We got to try to accelerate to get them to pour out, and there it goes. That is how you dump the rocks, and I think the bed is actually permanently bent from doing that. Let's bring it back down and take a look. Oh, yeah, I have ruined this thing. It is so crooked looking. Just look at the rear wheels and how badly misaligned it is there. Oh, that is terrible, but the strength of the vehicle shows through. The bed can't take it, but the chassis could. Alright, so next up, we're going to take a look at another one of the 6x6 configurations for the B-Series. This is the B75 Off-Road 6-Wheel Drive Automatic. And that's one thing that's kind of funny. All of the trucks say they're automatic, right? But if you go to the inside and look closely, this thing looks like it should be a manual. Look at this! That's a manual transmission. Why is it automatic? And how far can we zoom in? Well, we can zoom in a lot. But yeah, I don't really know why everything's automatic when if you look at the inside, it looks like it should be a manual, but it just is. So anyways, This guy, he drives great. Going through a dirt road like this is not a challenge at all. In fact, he almost feels like he could go and do serious crawling if we lock all the differentials. He's not as off-road capable as the crawler we saw earlier, but he can definitely go over some rocks if need be. But through here, it's able to go basically highway speed. We're going like 60 miles per hour through here, bouncing all over the place, but with all these wheels, we can get some traction somehow no matter what. And again, we're not even locking the differentials. Heck, we don't even have the front transfer case turned on. This is just rear wheel drive times 2. Okay, since it does so well going through the dirt like this, let's up the difficulty and go through the not road dirt and see how well it does here. So the bumps here are a lot bigger and they can be a lot more violent. But now we can do a new test. Can the truck get back onto its wheels from the side? So I locked all the differentials, turned on the front transfer case, and then we got to get some momentum going, so we're moving around. And once we got momentum, we shift the weight, and can that get it up? Oh yes, it can. Back on its wheels and ready to continue the fight. All right, does it still drive good after all of that? Yeah, it's pulling to the right a bit, but you can see it is still trucking along through here without problem. Although, to be fair, this is a perfectly flat area that I found somehow, so it's kind of to be expected, but there are bumps ahead, and we're going to get airborne, and we're going to just see how far can we fly, going about 75 miles per hour into the bump. Oh, this is bad for the truck. This is not a test of the off-road capabilities at all. It's just a test of beating up the truck and seeing what happens, isn't it? All right, let's see if we can get him upright so we can take a look at the damage, and it might still drive after this, actually, because all the damage is kind of to the body and the frame and suspension. All that should be okay, I think. So yeah, damage is pretty bad, but can we drive? Oh, yes, we can. All right, so here we go. Here's actually a test. How does it do driving off-road in a bit? And, oh, look at it getting back onto its wheels. That's impressive. So yeah, we go a little bit slower through here, but this is not going to stop the truck. Not even close. The jumps like that, those wheels stop the truck. In fact, is it able to drive after losing just one wheel? It should be able to, but I don't see the wheel spinning. This is a little sketchy. Get onto your feet and fight. Oh, that's unfortunate. So somehow just breaking that one wheel off broke all of the wheels. All right, let's get one that actually works and try to drive through here a little bit more reasonably. So we're going to take our time when we see a big jump instead of flooring it at it and watching the truck fly through the air. So here, we're going to bounce it still. We are definitely going to bounce it around to really give it a test. And you can see it's passing the test with flying colors. And I do mean flying. I know I said I wasn't going to do any big jumps, but we have still gotten in the air quite a bit. So here we go, another good spot to test it. Airtime just a bit and handling it. And this just goes and proves more wheels is always better as long as you can put power down to them. Because this thing has, I guess you could say, 10 wheels that are getting power. Yeah, it's a 6x6, but the rears are all doubled up. So that's 10 wheels of power, and you cannot easily stop 10 wheels of power. You know, there needs to be a vehicle that has like 50 wheels and all of them have their own independent suspension, and it's just the ultimate off-roader that cannot be stopped. Well, I think that proves just how capable this guy is. And now for the next vehicle, we're going to go ahead and change up maps. But before we change it, there's a look at the damage. And now, the map we're going to go to is another modded map. And by the way, if you're curious, the map we're on right there is called Desert Trails. And I have made a video for that map, but we're going to move over to Mammoth Valley, which is another map I have made a video for in the past. And I chose this map because the next version of the B series we're going to be taking a look at is the B65 Off-Road Chain. And I figure if you got a vehicle with chains on it, you got to be in the snow, right? Except, as you can tell, there are no chains on it. So what's up with that? It's just a small incompatibility with the mod and the wheels mod. One of them needs to be updated to fix it, but it's very easy to just add the chains yourself. So you go to each tire and you got to add them one by one. So I'll show you to add one, and then the rest you can kind of infer what to do. So first you go to the tires and you want to put on the Super Swamper tires. Once you have the Super Swampers on, then you'll have a new option under wheel accessories called chains. And then you add the chains, and then you have the chains on the vehicle just as you expect to see. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other two sets of wheels, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, we are chained up and ready to go. And since this is a truck designed for hauling things after all, I think we should get a trailer out here and try out its hauling capabilities. So for the trailer, we're going to get a dry van trailer, and we'll go with the Tasty Cola edition, because I'm assuming we're in Alaska, and somewhere in Alaska, somebody's really thirsty. They need a whole trailer's worth of soda, and don't worry, I am here to deliver the soda. Although one thing you might notice is sometimes when you go to attach a trailer with this thing, it might be a little bit too tall. Like right here, you see, we can kind of crunch it under, but it's not the most comfortable thing to do. Well, we can raise and lower the truck just a little bit. And that small change is enough to make it cleanly go under the trailer now. So watch, if we go into it now, it'll probably scrape a little bit, but it'll be a lot better than the first time. So nice and easy, no scraping, no scraping. Yeah, it actually made it without scraping. Perfect, now the trailer is attached, and we're at an absolutely terrible angle to make this corner, but we have an off-road truck with chains on the tires. We're going to make full use of its capabilities and just go completely around that corner into the wide open area. We have the capabilities, so let's make use of them. The trailer, it's not exactly happy with this, but the truck, it don't care. It's just going to yank that trailer along through anything. So that worked beautifully. Now, we go onto the road and we can actually drive it, assuming we don't tip it over. Oh yeah, truck. Pull the trailer so hard it can't tip over. So driving along with the sodas, we are moving no problem. We're obviously not going to go that fast because we have a big old trailer on us in the snow. But we are able to get up to at least 30 miles per hour, so that's not half bad. So now that I've proven for certain it works great through here, I think it's time for the next test. The next test is what happens when you're at a decent speed and you just say, you know what? The road is overrated. We're just going to go straight through the snow and see what happens. And the snow is pretty bumpy. So here we go. And it's going surprisingly well. The trailer is going smooth. The truck is going smooth. So with the chained up tires, we can easily drive through the snow on the road or off the road, even while carrying a big fat trailer. Straight across the road. Don't even care. Go on the other side of the road. Maybe it's a little more bumpy over here. Either way, though, we are having a breeze at this. No concerns whatsoever. All right, so let's make things a lot harder. If we can easily do that, can we crush a small car while carrying a trailer? Heck, let's say, can we crush 2 small cars while carrying a trailer? So we're going to spawn up 2 cars real quickly, and then we're going to line them up for crushing. So first is just a regular old Sunburst, which I will slap a little bit ahead of me so I can get some speed to run up to them. So put it right here, perfectly in line with the road. And then we'll get one more vehicle. That'll be a ETK K-Series, and we'll make it the police, but it's going to be a red police car, because I think it'll almost look like a race car if you have a paint job like that, won't it? Oh, actually, that looks cool. It looks like the evil police. I like that. All right, so that is a good alignment for both vehicles. Back to the truck, and we are ready to go. So full speed ahead, differentials locked, front transfer case enabled. Let's see what it does. 8 times slow-mo. Ooh, it's using the front counterweight to kind of just ram them. Are we actually going to get onto them, or are we just going to ram them? We're just going to ram them. We have so much power, we can just shove them along. Right, well, I think what we might want to do then is remove the front counterweight. And actually, sometimes you don't know something is, you could just go, wait. And then we have, there it is. Goodbye. Because I'm not carrying anything that heavy where I think we'll need that. Although the trailer does slightly fall off when you do that. Get back on there, trailer. All right. Here we go. Try number 2. This time no counterweight, so hopefully we can get up and over those vehicles. So come on. Go. Go. Oh, we can't get up on them. But we can shove them so easily. That's the hilarious part, is how easy it is to shove them. Now I'm just pushing them through the snow. There we go. Climb it. Climb them. Yes. Gotta deliver this tasty cola. Look at this. I got like 3 of my 6 wheels on the ground, and we are still pushing them. That is mighty impressive, but I think the problem here is we don't have enough wheels. So it's time to increase the number of wheels and don't tip the tasty cola. That was really close to tipping over. So right here should be safe. I'll go ahead and disconnect the tasty cola so we can go ahead and increase my number of wheels. So we're going to go from the 6x6 to the 8x8, and we have a couple of different versions for that, but I'm going to go with the oversized load edition because that one makes the most sense for carrying a trailer. And yes, technically the trailer isn't an oversized load, but shush you. And I know it might not be the best to get traction with in the snow, but shush you. We came to the snow for the one with the chains. We did the one with the chains. Now we're making do with what we got. Okay, we are on the snow and ready to go. Now, as for those cars, can they still drive enough to get back onto the road for another round of crushing? Yes, they can. You know what I should do is I should line them up in a way where the front car kind of works as a ramp. That'd be a smart move to do. So we're going to add another car to the cars to crush. Come on, can you work? Yes. Oh, it doesn't want to steer, though. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, police power. Police power. Excellent. So I'm going to park the police right next to the yellow sunburst. Well, stop overshooting it. Here we are. And then what I want to do is I want to spawn up a car that'll work as a ramp. So the best car for that is going to be the Bullide, and we'll get the Knot because I think that one has a little less ground clearance, so it might be a little lower to the ground and work better as a ramp. And then we're just going to choose one side, and that'll be the side he's on. And you know what I might do actually? I'm going to definitely do it. I'm going to change the color to a bright green so that way if any body panels get scattered, they're nice and easy to see. Here we go. So here we go. 3 cars, 1 big 8x8. And we gotta lock 1, 2, 3, 4 differentials. We gotta turn on 2 transfer cases, and we are ready to go. I don't even know what wheels we turned on, but they're on. It got revved up, and then unleash the power. Yes, yes, yes. Driving right over them. That was beautiful. Oh, but we're a little bit stuck. Like we got food stuck in our teeth basically, and it's just slowing me down a little bit. I'm trying to like yank them off by driving forward, but that doesn't seem to be working too well, unfortunately. Try to go really into the snow. You know, the problem is the one in the back. See, they're like actually glitched inside the wheel, I think. I think that's what's happening here. So to fix that, we'll just go ahead and yank him because he doesn't seem like he's obeying physics quite properly, is he? Yeah, that's wrong. So where's the node grabber and yank? Get the actual body and yank! Oh yeah, he was stuck in there, you could tell. Alright, now we just have the sunburst below me and we can bump him off to the side. So after all of that, I have 3 ruined cars and the truck, well the truck, he's perfectly fine. He did not even notice that he ran over these itty bitty pathetic cars. And I really think that if the car didn't get stuck in my wheels, I could have just kept on driving without even slowing down that much at all, but he was just a little bit glitched out and that required me to slow down, unfortunately. So here's what we're going to do to finish off with this 8x8. We're going to go as fast as we can on the straightaway, and then off in the distance, see those trees? Well, we're going to slam into them and see what kind of damage it does. And it looks like we'll be going about 50-ish miles per hour, so that's a pretty good speed, especially for how much weight we're carrying around through the snow on an uphill. Well, it's more of a downhill now, so we can actually get up to almost 55 miles per hour. So we got a little bit of slow-mo getting ready for the impact. And we're just gonna hit it with the side. Beautiful. Oh, it kind of deflected off. And now the rest of the trailer is taking the hit. So there is some real big damage coming in from all of that. But one question. Can we still drive after that? Now this is the question. No, the engine is broken. But the damage to the truck is surprisingly little for literally smashing into a tree and kind of glitching through it like that. What is that? Oh, that's the wide load flap bouncing about a little bit. Yeah, it has custom mud flaps when you have the wide load version, which are kind of cute. Here, let me show you those real quickly. It's kind of hard to get a view on them because we got all the soda in the way. There you go. It says caution wide churn, and it's just on these ones. I thought that was really cute. But 8 wheels of power is absolutely no joke. And to have more no jokes, let's go ahead and change up maps and head over to Utah, USA. And the next version we're going to be taking a look at is the B85 Military. So this is another one with the flatbed, so we got to find something to put on the back of it. But first, let's take a look at what the military specification gives you. So on this one, we have a trailer hitch on the back, the flatbed trailer, and then we have a crosshair. So if you go on the inside, it's like you're flying a plane, and you can shoot down any other pilots in the air, except you're a truck on the land. So that's obviously not what it's there for. That's what it makes me think of whenever I see it. This is one of those funny things. So what can we carry with this? Well, how about we try to carry a regular old T-Series? I think if we get the short version, it'll just barely fit onto the rear of this thing. It'll be close, but it might work. So we're going to go ahead and just teleport it onto the rear. And boy, is that a tight fit. It is just barely on there, but it can easily fall off the rear. But it looks amazing carrying it like this, doesn't it? So here we go. Driving along with the military version. How well does it carry this thing? Let's find out. Initial impressions, it's not going to have any problems at all. We are already going a decent speed, and we have just barely started. So going on the highways, this thing can go very, very fast. Everywhere else we've been, it's been in the dirt and the snow, so you never get to see. This thing's fast. Carrying another T-Series, already up to 63 miles per hour. The next test for the military version. How strong is it at 70 miles per hour into a solid wall? The answer is going to be bad no matter what vehicle you're driving, especially when the T-Series comes with its revenge hit and completely destroys the rear. Although, you know what? The T-Series might be okay after that. I don't know. So looking at the B-Series, poor guy, he is wrecked up. Just a mangled mess. So we'll get him out the way. And just out of curiosity, does this T-Series drive anymore? Unfortunately not. The front suspension is ruined, so it cannot drive. It's trying to put down the power, just can't do it. Now back over to the B-Series. Man, it's hard to go B-Series, T-Series because they're so similar. I know some of you guys are going to hear it wrong if I just slur just the tiniest amount. But the final version we're going to be taking a look at is the B85 tank. And this one, it's not made for what you think. Its purpose is to destroy stuff by ramming in them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to destroy stuff, which means we're going to pull out the AI. And before we can do that, let me go ahead and remove the other truck that's just sitting in the ground somewhere. And then we go to the AI menu and we're going to spawn up a bunch of traffic. And we are ready to go. And we are going to smash into them as fast as possible. Cars in front of me. Yeah, let's hit them. And whoa, that was close. Well, I almost tipped over. But what kind of damage did I do? That's the real question. Nice little mangling on them. A lot of destruction on them, but nothing severe, just a good quantity of destruction. So here we go, head-on collision, get out of my way. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because I have like 8,000 pounds just on the front of my vehicle for ramming purposes, basically. It's supposed to be a counterweight for towing, but we ain't towing. Oh, no. Oh, somebody who can finally stand up to me, I see, huh? Well, the good news is, even after that impact, that counterweight is taking most of the damage. We are pulling a little bit to the side, but it's not too bad. Oh, and now we're going over them a little bit even. We're just causing complete destruction all over the place with this thing. It is doing an amazing job. Oh, goodness, I can't steer in time. We're fine. We are fine. Even in the process of almost crashing, I still managed to wreck another dude. And the only car that actually seems to do damage to my driving capabilities was the other B-Series I hit. All these regular cars, they are nothing to me. You, little pigeon, bye-bye. Although I could have done that with any car. That really doesn't mean anything at all, because I could have took a regular D-Series and destroyed a pigeon. I don't know. I'm just smashing everybody in the way. Anyways, keep on smashing. Oh, we actually pushed that guy off the cliff, huh? Yep, the orange car is gone. Oh, there's a pileup. I don't want to be a part of that. Yes, I do. I lied. Give me a pileup. Smash them, and bash them. So yeah, this guy, he does destruction very, very well. And we can have the front wheels up in the air a little bit, dragging the car. It doesn't matter. We have 8-wheel drive. It puts down power. Next up, we're going to finish things off with a good old trip down to Leap of Death. And for Leap of Death, the one that makes the most sense is going to be, once again, the D85 tank, because he is very powerful with the nitrous, and he's able to probably launch off the ramp as far as you can get using a B-Series. So once again, we lock every single differential nitrous on, transfer cases on, my fingers are tired of clicking, let's go. Full speed ahead. How fast is it going to go? It's actually going to go surprisingly fast. We are up to about 50 miles per hour on the jump, which is just as fast as some sports cars I've seen, because they can't get traction. With this guy, we got traction, no problem. And here we go. First impact right directly onto the counterweight, probably. Yep. So this should be interesting. We're going to use 100 times slow-mo on actual impact and really watch what it does. Real destruction, and the camera's starting to freak out just a bit, so take the camera off. Can we get a better camera angle? It's just dark everywhere because of the shadows. We can see it pretty well, completely destroying the cab. The frame has slightly separated from the bed, and there's really not that much left already. We'll go ahead and speed it up and let it keep on going. But I think that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. And remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by how many wheels the vehicle I choose has. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.